What is going on, my super sandwiches? Rhymestyle here, and today I'm joined by Toastie for a Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2 feedback video. And today I want to bring up the discussion of fusion. Now, with Xenoverse 1, the big thing that a lot of people wanted was fusion, being able to fuse with other custom created characters, and it's just something that wasn't able to be implemented in Xenoverse 1 for many reasons. One, mostly being that the infrastructure behind it is nearly impossible where it can work properly. Because think about it, if you have two players, like let's say me and Toastie. You're Toastie, I'm Rhymestyle. We're playing the same match, we're in the same team. I'm like, hey, yo, Toastie, let's fuse. What happens next?
Well, it attempts to put both of us as two characters together in real time and have us fuse, which doesn't really work, not in Xenoverse. I made a video a long ass time ago talking about fusion. So like saying character creation fusion, I wonder if it could work. It can't. After playing Xenoverse, it cannot work with the system they have currently. The only way for this to be rectified is if they were actually able to make Xenoverse like the Budokai Tenkaichi and Raging Blast series, as to where when you do something, it'll go into a cutscene, and that's the only way that this could actually work. Otherwise, it doesn't work.
In mine and Toastie's case, if we fuse, who's controlling it? Now, a lot of people suggest, well, you know what? I want to watch my character fight. Nobody wants to sit there and watch. You want to play the game. The problem with Xenoverse, it's a game where Bandai Namco and Dimps' main goal was to put the player, you, as much control as possible. They want you to be playing. They want you to be basically controlling everything that happens on the screen. And if you fuse with another player, then there's no way that both players can play at the same time. So as far as a multiplayer aspect, it would just never really work properly. However, I actually have a good idea that I feel like can make people kind of happy, and what I can see working in terms of fusion. So I haven't told Toastie about this yet, but Toastie, I want to toss this idea out at you, and I want to see your live reaction / response and what you think would happen if this were to be implemented in Xenoverse 2. So instead of having a multiplayer version of fusion, which we obviously won't see for many reasons, on being there's no cutscenes and fights, two, it just doesn't work with two players. Infrastructure is just not set up to work that way. I think they can do something in campaign mode, where either they'll bring in another, like let's say in campaign mode, at some point, either you fuse with Goku, for example, or they bring in another custom created character that just jumps in like a random time controller, and you fuse with them for a specific fight or two during a part of the cutscene in campaign mode. I think that could work because several reasons. Number one, that custom created character is not controlled by another player. It's computer generated, or it's generated from many characters built by people across the world, and they just kind of pop in, you fuse with them, and then you fight. They could do something like that. Toastie, what do you think about that? That's
definitely possible, because they already have like a system in Xenoverse for where a character can jump in who's a created character
like
from
time patrollers.
Like
the time patrols when you're looking for Dragon Balls, like that. Yeah, it's exactly what I'm talking about. Like, let's say they generate, either they have a random generated one that's made in the game, or they pick one up from someone that's been created across the world. They show up for a fight. Maybe you're fighting evil bears, whoever knows what the story is, or maybe Super Mirror. Let's say Super Mirror shows up. You can't defeat them. They spawn another patrol to help you. You fuse with them. Somehow they figure out a system where how the fusion actually works. But from there, that could work a lot better than a multiplayer aspect. Like, I could see that being also number one, really fun toward the campaign mode. But as far as anything outside of that, there's just no system for it.
Yeah, it would be like funny. How would you fuse a human with a Majin? Or
I don't know, but I think that's what would be fun.
A Freezer race with a Namekian. How would you even? That'd be
well,
scary.
actually, the beauty of it is, if you remember, Dimps was the first developer for Dragon Ball Z games that actually tested those what-if fusions, like with Super Buu fusing with people like Frieza or stuff like that. Like, I could see them.
Cell-absorbing Krillin.
Yeah, exactly. They could do that very well in Xenoverse 2, and I really would love to see that, just because, number one, it would just spawn a bunch of wacky fusions. And there's something else that they could do is they could take that exact same system, maybe toss it into multiplayer, where, for example, let's say you have fusion as a move, and it does the same thing, where instead of you fusing with another player, the way it works is another character will just kind of spawn, and then you fuse with them. But instead of having a cutscene, since there's no cutscenes in the game, it'll be more of a fast thing that happens real fast, where, they shift the camera to the player real fast. They show a fusion pop in, and then you fuse within about 3 seconds.
You remember the Goku, Super Saiyan 4 Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, like fusing cutscene from Xenoverse? They could do that. They just have that cutscene, but just reskin them, because people have already modded the game to reskin those characters into like either Goku and Vegeta and like something else, or even completely different characters. So they could do that with created characters easily.
Yeah, a lot faster though. Like, just think of the fusion dance or even Potero as fast as possible. But now the question is what happens once you're fused? Do you just get a power boost, or how does that work? Do you have any ideas of what it can do with that?
I think personally, I think Potara fusion should only be like available if it was in story mode only. I think it should only be available when you're fighting a boss with multiple health bars, because hopefully they'll bring back multiple health bars, and please give it to the people as well. So like pretty much, you know how in Budokai Tenkaichi when you fuse with someone else, your health would add onto each other and they would combine. And yeah, same thing like that. So when you fuse with that other player, that health that the other player would get normally like by default is added onto your health. So they have 1 bar of health as a computer generated character, and you have, let's say, hopefully 2 bars of health. Hopefully they give multiple health bars in Xenoverse 2. If you have that, then you'll have 3 health bars. And obviously you can get like, you know, a power boost depending on what character you're fusing with, depending on what they are. Like if they're like really good in basic attack, then you get a basic attack boost, but not to the full extent of their basic attack boost. I would say a quarter of theirs or half of theirs added onto yours is best, maybe. Then you fight the boss that way. I don't think it should be like for Cybermen missions and stuff like that. I don't think it should be for that. It should only be for boss battles like that. So yeah, that's what I think.
And then for the multiplayer aspect, all they could just do is just boost your stats. So if I was to fuse with, you know, if I find Toastie and I use a fusion technique, you know, a character pops in real fast, we fuse, we create the character right then and there in real time, real fast, and then from there I just get a power boost for the rest of the match. Maybe a health, you know, a little health boost as well. But something along those lines, I can see you working a lot better for Xenoverse 2, rather than the whole idea of fusing with like a 2v2 system where it's like you and the player fuse, and then the one player has to watch. It just that won't work.
If they bring parallel quests back, they'll actually make it a lot easier too, because you know people like if they do take out the Saiyan spam, people like a lot of people said that's the only way I was able to like complete parallel quests or whatever. But if they add fusion in, that's actually going to be a really helpful thing to get you through a parallel quest.
Yeah. So what do you guys think about that idea? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Leave a like rating below, all that good stuff. And let's see what you guys, you know, think. Maybe if you have your own ideas on how fusion could work, but remember, the whole idea of fusing with another player it just won't work. As ambitious as that idea is, it won't work just due to the fact that they'll never make a game where one player just sits there and watches and the other player plays. It just doesn't work that way. But, you know, having the idea of spawning a random character pops in, you know, are you fused with, they could do that. And like, I can see that working. I don't see too many issues with it. And just for the sake of giving us the ability to fuse, and then also create wacky, you know, forms out of who we fuse with, I think it'd be kind of a fun way to make Xenoverse 2 a lot more interesting. So what do you guys think about that? Let us know your thoughts in the comment section below. Toastie, is there anything else?
Nope, that's really it. Just remember, guys, that real time does not warrant the fusion that was in Raging Blast or Budokai Tenkaichi. If you have a real time game like Xenoverse, you cannot just implement something like that in there. Like that, it doesn't work that way. If it's real time, it's either real time or cutscenes. Like you have to choose one. So yeah.
Right, and also to say, we don't know if Xenoverse 2 will be the same real time system as Xenoverse 1 was. We're just assuming it is. If it is, that's what we're going off of. But for all we know, for Xenoverse 2, they might add cutscenes again, like, you know, previous DBZ games in the past. But, you know, that all depends. We don't know anything yet. For now, all we can do is just kind of sit and wait and hope that our feedback is being sent across. So make sure you leave a comment below with all the feedback as possible, because this is going to help with the next game. So all that, yeah. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, we'll see you guys in the comment section below.
Peace.